Greetings and welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword with you once again, and and it's been a while, I have a new off-grid knife. I figured the box was cool enough to start with the box and do a real quick unboxing because I kind of like the logo. Enforcer XL, yes, that's what this is. And there's a website for you. And more information. Nice box, solid, heavy cardboard construction. And there is the limited edition of the Enforcer XL. This is called the Red Dawn. And that name comes from a movie, 1984, with Patrick Swayze, where a small group of locals fights off Russian invaders. Interesting. Kind of a present-day theme to a degree as well. That's about as far as we'll go with that. But this is a heavy, built for hard use Wharncliffe style knife. One could argue whether it's a Wharncliffe or not, or whether it's simply a clip point, because we do have a belly on the blade, it's not flat. My understanding is this is DLC coated, and that stands for diamond-like coating. Correct me if I'm wrong. I first found out about this knife, and I have to thank Bob DeMarco, the Knife Junkie, from his channel. Was fascinated enough to get back into an interest for off-grid knives again. These are made by Bestech, and even their higher end now, I understand, are being made by Bestech. Previously, their $250 range knives out of M390 were made by WE. Now everything is made by Bestech. That's my understanding. It's a large knife with a very prominent glass breaker on the end, but I'm going to show you something later if you don't like that glass breaker on there. However, let's do some quick measurements. And since I don't have my mini tape measure with me today, we'll get the maxi tape measure out. And we find that we have an overall length of 9 1/4 without that glass breaker. It's a big knife, and it's a 4-inch blade. 4 inches. And by the way, that 4-inch blade is of 154 cm steel. That's a bump up for off-grid. Let's get into the handle thickness. 0.57, not too bad for a knife this size, really. And we have a heftier blade stock of 4 millimeters. Now here's where you really appreciate the size of this knife, because no, it is not a lightweight. And we're going to find out just how heavy it is. Oh yeah, 7.2 ounces. Yes, 7.2 ounces. And that is even with weight relieving. You would think with that weight that they didn't weight relieve it, but look at that. We have some big skeletonizing milled out slots on both sides. So yep, that was part of the process. This knife will run you $130 directly from off-grid. They're not yet out on Amazon. You can get most of the other off-grid knives at the Amazon store. This might become available eventually, but since it's a limited edition, maybe not. Very effective jimping. And what I've noticed in the past with the off-grid knives is they're very basic, meaning there aren't too many frills. So this is the first one that isn't simply all blacked out. We've got a lava-like G10 that runs right through the entire scale. It's not just a topping or a coating. And very grippy. It feels rubbery. The strange thing about it is I know it's just G10 that's been checkered, as you can see, but it has kind of a rubbery like feel, and I think that's because they bead blasted it after they checkered it. That's my thinking on it anyway. We've got a substantial liner that is engaging. It's black on black, so it's hard to tell. About 40%. And an action right out of the box that's that smooth. So it's on bearings. And yeah, it's a heavy knife. Yes, it has a clip that's switchable. And I left this loose enough so I can show you. If you don't like that glass breaker, take it out. Because the glass breaker, the way it came, it was easy enough to take it out with the fingers, but there is, if I can locate it, a little divot in there where you can insert maybe the end of a Torx driver or an Allen wrench, and you can tighten that down so that you can't take it out with the fingers so it wouldn't come out accidentally. Or you could just take it out completely if it was already a little too tight. But yeah, there's those red fiber-like things that are running through the design of the handle. Limited edition, I think even the regular edition is now 154 cm, so I'm thinking the limited edition is strictly has to do with the type of G10 on the handle slabs. Here is my only other off-grid knife, and this is the Cayman EDC. Now the Cayman now also comes in an XL at 4 inches. So if you liked the shape of this knife but it was a little small for you, you can go XL, and that actually is up over 8 ounces if those specs are correct that I read on Amazon. This has seen a little bit of use. It's a good EDC size. It's definitely a sticker with a slicey edge, and I tuned that edge up a little bit so it's pretty sharp. But here is your comparison with the Red Dawn Enforcer XL. Quite a difference. And if we were to compare with a Benchmade Griptilian, there is our difference. Kind of dwarfs the Griptilian, I would say. And let's not stop there. Let's bring out my other big dog on the table. The Ontario Rat 1. So, oh yeah, it's definitely a smaller knife than the Enforcer XL. So I would say if you're looking for a real, I wouldn't call it a beater. A beater is a knife that you don't care about destroying. This is a knife that's going to hold up. I think the upgrade in steel is a really good thing. I think the thickness of the blade, the substantial feel and weight of the handle, the ergos are good. It's very, very grippy, but not in the sense of like an Emerson where it's like sandpaper. This really doesn't chew up your skin any. It just really, really grips because of whatever treatment they gave the surface on it. Nice grind. It's not particularly high, but it's flat. And I think that's going to last. Got good thickness. Let's see. pretty good thickness out to the tip. It's a little fine there, maybe a little finer than I'd like, but that certainly gives you the ability in EDC to use that tip. So there you have the Enforcer XL. Let's open it one more time and close it. And let's just see if I can feel it. Yeah. Yep. And yet, if you follow through, I think the detent for this size knife is tuned pretty well. Anyway, that would be your decision for your use and not so much mine. But for 130 bucks, I recommend it. I'll leave the link where you can go directly out to the Off-Grid knife site and order one up. They're very fast shipping and comes priority mail. They do charge you a little for shipping. Forget what it was. But if I'm wrong on that, you'll find out when you get to the site. Also, if you go to thenifejunkie.com/off-grid, I believe that Bob DeMarco's channel will get a little bit of a kickback on the knife. I don't have any such arrangement, but if you wanted to go that route, Bob has an excellent channel, runs Thursday Night Knives, does a lot of interviews with knife makers every week, and just not going to cost you any more, but gives Bob a little bit of money. Okay, there we go. So hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe.